Okay, the way we usually do this, we kind of get a head count as we start and kind of break up the half hour that we have into the allotted time. So we'll just plan on 7, 8 minutes for each of you and having it make it a conversation, and we'll just go with Dan. We're gonna have to put you last because you didn't pre-register, if that's okay. Wilson, why don't we start with you? Come on up.
Sure. I brought some information here for you guys. So if somebody can help me pass it around.
Do that for you.
Also, I'm glad you put me first because I got 2 games tonight for PA. They
Well,
have no official tonight, so.
That's a problem.
So,
have a seat, join us. Have a seat.
I met with
Right
the,
here.
Viking
Thank you.
and also the high school league. They called me, I retired from youth and also the Minnesota Viking and the NFL 5 years ago. But, anytime you have a phone call coming, they cannot find anybody that run these, because for 25 years of my life, we did it with a whole bunch of mayors. Although I miss Gene. It was one of my guys, and I
I'll
also,
do.
Edina Mayor, Jim Hoverland.
Mhm.
So, we had a great run for youth football and also the Pompest kicking. Won 2 national since I started first year. And 4 kids went to the Super Bowl. And I thought, yeah, great. That's really good for my resume. I'm gonna be done and go from there. So 5 years ago, I told the Viking I won't be able to participate in anything except I can help out, if they do need me. Now, 2 weeks ago, they called me. They want to host this event somewhere closer to the metro or, Bloomington. And then when I run into Tim, I approach him, hey, is there any way I can come and see you? So I put together the flyer. As you guys see, everything is on a website. And this event is going to be at Bloomington Jefferson Stadium. I want to do something special for all the little kids. I don't care about high school or middle school, but this the future for the generation because they like to play. I wish I have their enthusiasm. So much energy for those little ones. And the event is going to be really good because, like I said, they already gave me the date, the time, and we have a couple people on my staff is going to be used to work on Danny Green and Mike Tice. We're gonna probably open up the door for all community. So the thing I'm probably gonna meet up with Tim. I need to get this ASAP to all the mayors because I don't have a capability to drive to Walmart, Benson, Alexandria, or Morris. The mayor, they are the one who kind of in charge of their community, but the event is free. I mean, there's no cost. All they need to do is register. And we're also going to be partner with the police department down there. I got a meeting with them on Thursday. The fire department, the highway patrol, the U.S. Marine and the U.S. Navy. So I'm bringing the big dog so they can do all the work for me. I don't want to sweat. So that's the beauty of it, and if it goes well, then I'll determine who my host is at the US Bank Stadium. So we want to start real small and also how many kids participate. And it's a perfect time because it's after the holiday and before school start. So my thing is any parents can do this online, register their kids. It's not only one sport, but it's for all sports, hockey, but what you got to lose is you're going to have a former Viking over there, John Randall and Dave Dixon. All those guys are going to come and help out, and also, like I said, we're going to be doing with some of the professional athletes. Well, that's, an entire picture of what I'm looking for. What are you guys gonna be helping on this? I mean, I don't really need any money, but if you guys could support this with me and Chris and Kevin, maybe some volunteer sponsorship or whatever, because for me, they don't do this to a lot of city. They charge you, and also like I said, they enter some of these kids, the parents have to pay for it. But for me, it's the first time I want to do this, especially I live in Bloomington. My wife already told me, if this go well, great, go do your thing next year, but if it doesn't go, then you need to stay away from all this stuff.
So here's what I will promise you I'll do, Wilson. First of all, I've got a regional council of mayors meeting next week.
Okay,
That I will distribute this to those mayors and ask them to share it with their city staffs. I will pass this on to our Park and Rec director. And I know they've got a Park and Rec world in the state of Minnesota. All the Park and Rec directors talk and are in an organization together, and ask her to try and distribute this and to get the word out in that way as well. And I don't know, any other possible ideas you guys can think of, just in terms of the city structure and organization, the best way to get this out and about?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we can work with Park and Rec in our communications and help spread the word about it too. I think I heard you say you're not looking for money specifically, and I know that.
some sponsor to cover volunteer, because the Navy, they like to, eat something, drink something, but I don't have the capability.
Yeah.
And I already met with Allison down there in the Park and Rec. She's really delighted to get going, because a lot of parents want to circle this down on their calendar. And also, like I said, there's a lot of elementary school out there. Just remember, we're not doing this for just Bloomington.
Yep.
I got a meeting with Assistant Mayor of Minneapolis. They want to see me because I run into him on basketball last week. And I said, Wilson, what are you doing? I said, well, I need your help. I want to come and see you. I mean, Archie Ryback was another person that was involved with a lot of stuff that we did. But, I appreciate for you to step up. And also, like I said, if you did, this doesn't work on Saturday, because July 8th is a, then, what's his name? He told me we can move it on Sunday. So we have option in case of weather.
Okay. Well, good. We will do what we can within the city structure here, and we will help you spread the word on this.
All right.
John, very quick here.
Yeah, quickly. Do you have a form for corporate sponsorship? Because I
Yeah.
believe, Lona, if I'm not mistaken, you're on the chamber board. And maybe we can work with the chamber if you're looking for some
Yeah,
sponsorship.
now, like I said, my information there, just shoot me an email or text. We have a different form. It's a 501c.
Yep.
And also a photocopy for all the corporate. Because right now, Highway Patrol, they want to take the lead on the punt pass kicking event. We're going to have a lot of event, that day, but also the Jefferson, a head coach named Tim Carson. He said he's going to have his football player to referee the event.
Great.
Very cool.
Thanks,
All right,
sir.
Thanks for your work.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
And I'll take care of following up by email to get the information for the corporate sponsorship.
All right.
Tony?
Do I need to sign in?
If you could, if everybody signs in, it makes it
Sure.
easier for us all.
Can do that. It's good to see you all again.
Good to see you as well.
It's a little less formal than the last time I talked to you in November. This feels a little more relaxed. Thank you for your time. I do have some notes that I just kind of want to follow. So I wanted to talk with you all because I like the mission statement that you all have put out of wanting Bloomington to be a place where people want to be. But I'm part of the Gen Z and millennial generation. And quite frankly, when I talk with my friends, a general theme I'm hearing are concerns about home ownership and being anywhere, frankly. Wages are flat. They haven't kept up with the They've been stagnant is the word I'm looking for. Inflation is a rampant problem, and I just hear a lot of people stressing about home ownership, and I share that concern of finding an affordable house. And so for me, Bloomington is a place I would love to be an owner, but I wonder if it's a place I can be with housing. So the question that popped into my head, I know that there's a ton of federal policy. No one at this table is responsible for interest rates. There's a lot of state policy, all kinds of interconnected pieces. So this isn't just a city of Bloomington deal. But I'm curious, what steps is the council taking to make housing affordable for, I guess, the younger generations so that people will stay here? People will want to be a part of this community. And I understand that part of that is job creation, creating good jobs with competitive salaries. I want to go into the field of teaching. I want to be a teacher. And teaching is a very tough profession to enter right now. So sometimes I wonder what I'm getting myself into. But that's the question that I had kind of wanted to talk with you about, is have that conversation about housing. What does it look like? And what you all have just developed a strategic plan. Where do younger couples, the younger generation, where do we fit into that? Because I think home ownership is going to be a key piece of whether or not someone like me decides to stay in this area. I don't want to rent forever. My guess would be a lot of people in this community don't want to be a renter. We want that ownership that's very tied to, I think, parts of the American dream has always been kind of tied to that idea of being a homeowner. So, yeah.
Well, I agree with you completely on a few different things. First of all, I want to say, yes, we're trying a lot of different strategies to crack this nut, this home ownership nut, and the affordable housing nut. We're doing a really good job with the rentals. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're at 77% of our Metropolitan Council 2030 goal. Mm-hmm. So 7 years in advance, we're already 77% of the way there. And as I keep telling people, I'm guessing a lot of our neighbors are only about 77% behind us right now, because there's a lot of cities not doing anything on this. And I'm proud that Bloomington is actually moving forward with affordable rental properties, and not just, everybody thinks affordable housing and those, kind of brings things. This is housing that people can afford. Mm-hmm. This is our teachers. This is our first-year police officers. This is folks in our hospitality industry. So that's what we're working toward. We want people to we want this to be a place to be that people want to be and that they can afford to be and that can afford to live here. The other side of that, of course, is the home ownership part. And that is a tougher nut to crack. It really is, for all the things that you talked about, affordability, just the rising cost of home ownership, a lot of folks with rental or with credit issues. Mm-hmm. There's a variety of things that a lot of times get in the way of actual home ownership. And we know how important home ownership is because you build wealth, you build equity, you build wealth, and it's a path as opposed to renter. And renting is wonderful, but you're right, it is important. We've had this discussion with our HRA, and we've made this a priority. And in the idea of crawl, walk, run, they're basically crawling right now. We had 4 or 5 lots available kind of over by Humboldt and 82nd. Sure. That originally MnDOT owned, and then they released them. MnDOT was going to use them to expand 35W. They released them. They were going to look at affordable housing options, affordable rental options. And this council, and I think I can point to the council members who said, you know what? No, let's look at ownership opportunities. So the HRA got a good-sized grant, a $300,000 grant from the Met Council. And they're now partnering with Habitat for Humanity, and they're going to build 4 homes there for middle-income people. Again, it's crawl, walk, run. I mean, and this is crawling. This is the start. 4 homes. They're 4 homes, but it's going to make a difference for those 4 folks, and it's kind of a path forward. It's difficult with the city of Bloomington because we're built up, and we have to look for opportunities like this for new home ownership. For existing home ownership, it's a struggle because there's a lot of investors buying up those existing homes and then turning them around and renting them again. We've seen that quite often. And there's other struggles that we're kind of working toward, but it is something we're exactly on the same thought path, that we have to make this a city that people can move to and that they can afford to, that they want to, and that they have an opportunity to. And so it's a tricky one. We're looking at any and all possibilities. We've got our HRA staff We kind of reconfigured our HRA and our Port Authority, moved some responsibilities around. HRA is now focusing on housing issues, housing specifically. And so I'm enthusiastic and kind of excited about the work that they're doing and the work that they might move forward on. But it's going to take some time. It really is.
Absolutely.
It really is. Anybody else want to add anything, Sean?
Thank you, Mayor, and I think you gave a good synopsis of it, but what I would add to that is in the state, we're about 160,000 homes below what we needed to build in the last decade, based on household formation. Bloomington has how many houses? Like 26,000. Bloomington can't do it alone. And we need to get our partners in other cities to do a lot of the stuff that Bloomington has done. Bloomington has led, frankly, for decades on being a great place to live, a place you can afford to live with great amenities. I mean, we had the post-war boom here, and Bloomington rose to the occasion. They built housing for people when they needed it. And like the mayor said, we're kind of out of land. We need the Woodburys, the Lakevilles, the other places to step up and do what Bloomington did at that time to provide more of those houses. Because what's happening is because there aren't those houses, you have the rents going up and you have the costs of housing going up. And now you got, Ramblers costing, $350,000. And it's tough. It's all due to just haven't built enough units because there's people like yourself that are now getting into the market and going, I want to get out of rental. I want to own, I want to put down my roots in a good community. And, it's tough. And so it's a statewide regional issue that frankly, I think the mayor and the city manager have been really on the forefront of leading a lot of those conversations with metro mayors, with metro cities, League of Minnesota Cities, all of those types of things. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I bought my first house in Bloomington, a little Rambler, and it's been a springboard for me and my family, and for all sorts of amazing things for us, and just want that opportunity for other people.
Absolutely.
Tony, we're at time here and I appreciate
Yes.
coming in and I appreciate you bringing it up, but
Thank you.
I don't think there isn't any disagreement around this table.
I figured there wouldn't be. And the last thing I want to say is thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for what you do for our community.
Appreciate it. Anita.
Like Tony, I have notes, so I can not ever keep it brief, but I'll do my best. So I am here to talk to you all today and ask you to really think hard with all of your future planning to really reprioritize pedestrians in Bloomington. As we know, I think we all agree people drive way too fast in Bloomington. And I think we'd all also agree that city staff does a really great job clearing the sidewalks and getting to all of that. But honestly, they're really unacceptable right now. And I appreciate that they've been very responsive when I have called in issues, especially around my kids' school, where I volunteer weekly helping kids at the crosswalk. It's been unpassable and it's just not acceptable. And so I don't want to demonize city staff who are doing a really good job because they're responsive and amazing and kind, but I don't know if they don't have the right tools. I'm not really sure what the problem is, but between inches of snowpack and ice, it's not safe. We know that 2 children were hit and one of them killed because the sidewalk was not passable. I haven't gone over to see if the sidewalk is passable yet, if that's been taken care of. And then last night in Brooklyn Park, a woman was killed crossing the street with her groceries. There probably should have been a crosswalk. There wasn't. It's from a grocery store area into a neighborhood with multifamily housing, single family housing. Probably should have been a crosswalk in a mile stretch where there wasn't one. And Bloomington has those spots too. We see it all the time on 98th Street, people wanting to cross to Marsh Lake Park, headed north, or people that want to head, from the neighborhood, either from your neighborhood, Mayor, or from other neighborhoods trying to get to Brookside Park or vice versa. And there's a mile stretch where people can't safely cross a very wide 4-lane road with a speed limit of 35. But I drive 35 and people swerve around me, honk, tailgate. It's just not very safe. Yeah, I know you have a process, right, that neighbors can go through to have roads reviewed, talk about concerns and work on things, but I think we get to a point where so many people and so many neighborhoods have issues that it's a systemic problem and it's a community problem, not a neighborhood problem. And I think that it's wrong to put the responsibility on neighbors to get together, to have a conversation, to try to make things safer. I really think that it's not a sustainable or equitable way to approach this, the safety on our streets. So I'm just asking that you essentially consider that, right, when you're considering road plans. From an environmental standpoint too, our roads are huge, they're wide, it's a lot of pavement, it's a lot of heat, it's miserable. You know, if you can even cross the street, then you're miserable because you're walking on a mile stretch where the sun is baking because it's just road. And so, you know, as far as the sidewalks, I don't know what can be done about the ice pack and the snow pack right now. I don't know if we need different equipment, if that's something that needs to be invested in. This is not my profession, right? So I'm not sure what the options would be, but clearly what we have right now is not working. And it's making our community really difficult for a lot of people. I have 2 neighbors who when I worked downtown, would take the bus with, and they're blind, and I don't see them at all winter. They can't get through our neighborhood. So that's what I'm here to talk about. I don't know what the solutions are, but I just want you to know that people care and we want something to be done. So
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you bringing that up because, I mean, yes to what you said. It's, I know it's difficult. It's been a tough winter. Goodness knows I got a broken ankle in my house, proving that it's been a tough winter this year.
yeah,
But to see tragedies like we did is, I mean, it's sad. It's very unfortunate. And it's, whatever we can do to make sure that our sidewalks are in the best possible condition for pedestrians in this city, I think we need to take a look at that. We're already taking a look at how to slow traffic down. We understand that. I think the second piece of that, you know, the second leg of that stool is looking at alternatives for bicycles and pedestrians. I do think that's the case. So.
yeah,
Just a couple of thoughts, Anita. Mayor's right, and we do have we don't call it the alternative transportation plan anymore. Is it the active active transportation plan, which is revving up? And just specific to the incident that happened last weekend, there isn't an extended length of sidewalk along that road that could be traveled. Continuous. So, you know, that's obviously an issue for people who use that area, is there isn't a safe place to walk because there isn't sidewalk that extends the whole way. So we know that with the 494 project that's starting later this year, they are putting a trail as well as a pedestrian bridge crossing right in that location. So hopefully that situation is going to get resolved soon. But we also know we have that situation in other places where we have large expanses without sidewalks. Staff is already talking about that and looking at what our options are moving forward.
yeah. My husband was driving to get our kid in daycare. He was at daycare in Burnsville, and was driving on 106th, and you know it's 5 p.m. and thankfully all of the cars did eventually see, but my husband saw there was a very almost accident, a man on a motorized wheelchair in the street on 106 going up the hill at Humboldt because he couldn't pass on the sidewalk. And it was dark and you couldn't see him, and his scooter could hardly handle the road. But if you have to get somewhere and that's the only way, what are you going to do? So my husband drove slow behind him with his flashers on so that people would not hit the poor person. But we can't count on everybody doing that. That's not a plan going forward. So, yeah.
Thank you for bringing that forward. We'll pass it on to our public works folks, and maybe we'll try and get a report back on it because I know they're doing their best. They really are, whether it's equipment, whether it's, I just dump a ton of salt on there and just make it work. And so, but the environmentalists won't like me to say that.
I mean, salt isn't going to work on several inches of snow and ice pack. It really, it has to be I can only guess it has to be different equipment. Because right now, like you can see where the blade doesn't hit the ground and you can see how the tire tracks by Olson on 102nd. You can see how it's dug in, and like I've called in many times because they don't always, the first snows of the year, they don't do they always forget to do the path to actually get to the street. So the sidewalk is clear, but then you've got a mound of snow that you can't get to the crosswalk. So they clear it, but you can see that the sidewalk is just, the equipment doesn't get to the pavement. So
Understood. Thank you.
thank you.
We're gonna get to Dan now. I'm sorry, you came in late. Were you hoping to speak this evening, or
If you have time, otherwise I'll come 2 weeks from now.
we might need to see you 2 weeks from now?
We're together. So she's with me.
Oh, why don't you come?
Sandy.
Come on up.
can just keep talking.
Come on up and as a team. We got a few minutes here.
That's fine.
Sure. Just introduce yourselves.
There was like a whole.
You're good. No, we're trying to keep it as chill as
There are days where nobody shows up, so.
Yep.
See, that's what I
Happen to be
kind
a
of
popular
thought.
time.
I can sign us in.
You sign us in?
kind of when we're done. Or
Talking then.
Please.
I'm Sandy. I had an opportunity to talk to you guys about a month ago. Just wanted to touch base again. I loved some of the words she used. She used kind because we have found nothing except really, really nice and kind people in dealing with the city. But we're having an issue, and I think I figured it out today. As nice as everybody is, we found out that our objectives of what we're trying to do and what the city's trying to do with the R1 zoning changes, they're not the same. So what I found out today is the direction they have from city council, which is what they need to adhere to, does not include anything about protecting our natural resources or sustaining our green coverage or anything else. They are looking at encouraging more housing options, increasing affordability, addressing racial equality by identifying potential discriminatory policies, and encourage healthy and sustainable communities. We are looking for some help, so they look at this a little broader rather than in this vacuum of just those 4 goals, because we can't find a solution which is going to help preserve the character of our area or some of the other areas.
So
You know.
the initial guidance that you guys gave at the city council meeting last time was to basically engage us. So that's kind of the feedback that we've gotten in talking with Nick and Glenn. So they've been great, but that's kind of, we're just kind of getting to that point and are hoping to get a little more guidance as to, hey, maybe you guys should work with us on considering the environment and the natural area. So, the area that we live in is about a 10-block stretch between Highland and Marsh Lake Park in the, what do they call it, a habitat corridor? The DNR considers a habitat corridor. So, I mean, these are 2 huge park areas and there's basically 10 blocks residential area between the 2. So it's just a ton of wildlife that moves between that. And it's really just, I guess it's kind of protecting those natural features that, we're really hoping for.
And
So-
it doesn't sound like they can do anything without direction from council. So is what we're hearing.
Understood. So, I mean, you mentioned one of the goals being healthy and sustainable communities.
Yeah.
And that's a wide target. That's
I saw the word environmental in that
a broad range. I can think of some very green places that I've been to that are in no way sustainable or healthy. And so, I mean, it does not necessarily, it's not a one-to-one relationship all the time. So, I mean, just consider that. But I do think when staff, when they have that direction, they do consider a variety of different ways of attaining a healthy and sustainable community. And it's open to a lot of different interpretations and it's a different way of doing things. And I mean, a true healthy and sustainable area would probably be a good chunk of houses in Bloomington wouldn't be where they are, because if we were smart about it, we wouldn't have filled in swamps 30 years ago or 50 years ago or whatever it was, or built in wooded ravine areas, that kind of things. So it's a challenge, and it's open for interpretation in terms of what the city is trying to accomplish and the different work that we're trying to do. I appreciate that they're talking with you, and I appreciate that, the discussions are at least going well. And I'm looking forward to the conversation that we're going to have ultimately back at the council, because ultimately staff will come back to us with discussion, recommendation, and the same discussion that we had a couple of weeks back. We're going to continue that discussion about listening to you, listening to staff, looking at what we know about the area. So Jenna, you had a question or? Oh, okay. So please.
So I imagine that the proposal or the ordinance, I don't know, I guess we haven't seen exactly how the 100 to 200 new units, how that number how the city arrived at that number, or if there was an idea as to where exactly that would be. I imagine the concept was it would just kind of be sprinkled around the city or maybe a few specific areas. So kind of between a basic kind of analysis of the geography and the value of the houses in our neighborhood, I mean, we came up with basically, what is it? I think it was like 30 new units that are possible in our neighborhood specifically. So that's, I guess if you look at it on an acreage basis, it should be one in terms of the whole city. So we're 0.5% of the residential districts. So, I mean, that's a 30x impact. So.
Right. Our housing market's very diverse. We have houses built from 1920 to 2021. And then we have market values from 330,000 to 2 million. So in the 62 houses we have on our area, it is a very, very diverse housing market. And our problem is we have a lot of homes built in the 40s and 50s. And so then the land value is substantially higher than what the house is. So what we would see is all of the areas in blue are all the houses out of our 62 houses that would be impacted by the R1 zoning change. We are talking with the city. So far, we're not hearing anything that would help us minimize anything. We've gone to the steep slope ordinances, trying to find some way to slow down what we would consider, an explosion of change in the character of our area. And we've gone to the tree ordinance.
I don't want to interrupt you right now. We're 3 minutes over. We got to get downstairs and
Okay.
council member and get a new council meeting going. Please back next week. Let's continue this conversation next week. And John, quick. Yeah, we can get a copy of that. Yeah.
I guess, we're just concerned that it's going to open.
Work with Matt or something.
Okay.
I'll take a good picture of it. And I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're just concerned it's going to open up the neighborhood to developers. I mean, Steve Furlong was the one who had the house under contract. I think you guys know Steve. So.
Thanks.
All right.
And that's what it is.
Let's continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Council, look for a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Let's head downstairs. Thanks. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.